Hi, can you hear me? I Hello, good morning. Sorry for the delay. I got a little confused with the time schedule. I think I can hear you, Miss A. I'm not sure. I can't hear you. I don't know why. Give me just 1 second. Okay. My speaker is functioning well. Well, I mean, you can hear me. I will continue so I don't waste any people's time, and we'll figure. Well, good morning. Sorry. I think going live means like you get mistakes like that. I mistake that time, so I'm sorry. So I was kindly invited here today to talk to you guys about my experience on inquiring in early years. I will say that it was a little bit difficult at the beginning because at my school we were just starting on this amazing IB program, and I was in Kinder One, and it was in English. So imagine my journey there. I prepare a small presentation, and I will. There's mostly pictures, but I will be explaining you about them as far as they go. So there you go. Thank you for sharing my presentation because last time got like froze. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Paulina, am I audible to you now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now perfectly. Thank you.
So, audience, are you able to hear us? Both me and Paulina. Can you please let us know in the chat because I can see we are not audible to few people. So please check your mic setting because I have checked. Right, everyone, we are audible. Thumbs up. Yes. So, Paulina, slides are there. If you want me to change the slides, just let me know. I will be changing the slides for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and can you may start if you may, please. Okay, and
Yes, they can hear us. They can hear us well. Please go ahead.
perfect. Okay, well, you can you start the presentation, please? Thank you. I really appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Well, a little bit about me. Well, my name is Paulina Ruiz Orduño. I'm from Guaymas, Sonora, Mexico. I've been a teacher for almost 14 years. Don't start guessing my age, please, because I'm really old. No, but I'm for real. I've been a teacher for almost 14 years. And the current school that I work right now, Colegio Americano de San Carlos, I've been there for almost 9 years now. We got our IB certification last year in the middle of a pandemic situation, and we feel super proud of. As a school, I think it hasn't changed that much as the way that we used to work because we used to work on projects. I mean, it's been amazing to see our kids develop the skills ourselves as teachers as well. So in the start of our journey in the IB program, I was in Kinder 1. And that's the experience that I'm gonna share with you. And now I'm on elementary. This year I got to be in fourth grade, which is awesome as well. But to see each stage of the kids and their reflections and the way they inquire has been very interesting. Like I said, I was in kinder one, then I got to be in first grade, then I got third grade, and now I'm in fourth grade. So let's see what else comes to my way. And like I said, I will just talk about my experience. I will give you a little bit of examples of the things that I did. And I hope it can be useful for you guys. So thank you. Okay, next one, please. Okay, this question, I think, how does inquiry look like, feel like, and sounds like in an early years classroom? Probably loud, but not loud like yelling, like everyone wants to share at the same time. It's really hard for them at a younger age to take turns to wait. If they have an idea, they just want immediately to share it. So it's your own mess, if you want to say it like that. It's crazy, but it's amazing. And you have to be really like sharp with your post-its. I remember having a wall with thousands of post-its with the reflections that I used to catch from the students, because it's hard for them to repeat it again. Or if I try to sit them and say like, okay, let's reflect. No, it wasn't like that at all. I remember having my post-its and, oh my God, I don't know, Loretta said this, so I remember writing it down and posted it on the wall. So when you were enter my class, when I was in kinder one, you couldn't see an organized mess. I will put it like that. As you can see in the picture, when they're young, well, actually, pretty much in all ages, I think us as adults too, the first thing that comes to your mind is going to make you like inquire. It's a provocation. Everything that you see is a provocation. So for them that are very visual, if you want them to be like amazed, or if you want to make them want to learn or like to inquire about something, you have to present them in a way that they can touch, enjoy. So for example, I remember talking about the topic, who we are, no, how we express ourselves. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this with they're super young, they can barely talk in Spanish, and I'm doing it in English. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I remember the central idea was about how we can express ourselves through stories. So I remember decorating my entire classroom as if it was an enchanted castle or something. And I went to borrow a lot of costumes, like princesses costumes, superheroes. I sent a letter to the parents if they could send also costumes. I remember collecting a lot of stories related to that. So my classroom, through that unit of inquire, became like a fairy tale. So that since they walked through the classroom, it was like an entire fairy tale, because I want them to feel like they were playing, but at the same time they were learning. And for me, at that age, the way that they learn, it's by playing. And it sounds like maybe your principal will get into your classroom and said, are you guys playing? But you guys are learning, because they're kids and that's the way they learn. They need to touch, they need to feel, they need to smell, they need to be part of the process for them to be able to really get himself in the concept or the idea that you guys are coming up together. Can you pass to the second one, please? Thank you. If I'm talking too fast or something, please let me know. Okay, this is another example. For example, if you're going to talk about how we organize ourselves, you can create like a center where is the supermarket, or the center that is a school, like a small organizations, and make them part of the process that the people that works there passes. They're organized to put the groceries, you need to get in line. If you're an architect, all of that, organizations and the way that they work, what better way to learn that to be part of the process? And as you can see in the picture, they're playing. It's all about playing, and they learning because they're part of the process, because they are experiencing what it's been an organization. Like I said, if you were talking about how we organize ourselves, how things work. So it's really fun, and it's really, well, difficult. I don't like that word much, but it's hard at first when they're that at that age in kindergarten, because you try to search for ideas like, how am I going to teach this to younger kids? How are they going to learn this concept? And then you get like, how are you going to do a summative assessment? But you guys, we as teachers get to be so stressed, and the program is so kind. There's so many basic stuff that we are the ones that get confused on trying to present these huge projects and these huge summative assessments, where you can just sit with them, play with them, and that way you will know if they're learning or not, because you ask them questions, or you just observe them like working in the environment that you previously prepared for that unit of inquire, and the interaction that they have. That's the way you know that they're learning. Also, at this age, it's really all ages, right? It's important to have that communication with the parents, but mostly in this age, the feedback that you get from the parents, it's also the way that you know that they're taking action also at home, not only at school. So it's really interesting that a parent send you a message saying, oh my God, he's now obsessed with recycling, and he's turning the faucet off if he sees, or the lights off. And those are actions also, or just the way that the lifestyle, that he doesn't want to eat junk food anymore, stuff like that, that we maybe could consider really small, but they're actions as well. And it's not only on stuff that we can see, there's also on stuff that they know, that they learn, the way they change their lifestyle, their actions, that the interaction with their peers, with their parents. So those are actions, and not only the ones that they tell you, oh, we're gonna do this project. No, when they're young, it's mostly visual, and they can come up with pretty amazing actions as well. So thank you. Next one, please. Okay, this is another example. As you can see, a farm. This could be on the interaction that we have with others, on the resources that we have, how we can apply better, how can we work better with them, how we can take care of them. As simple as a farm, or the animals that we have at home, how they can help us, how we can take care of them. How can I make a corner to explore senses through play? Well, you could put on a table, maybe like a guessing game. You could like cover their eyes, and maybe, well, it's kind of difficult right now that we're in the middle of a pandemic. So you can maybe set like individually. Maybe the parents can send you a couple of things. They can cover their eyes, or they something they can smell, or something they can touch and say if it's rough. Or also, for example, you can play, I don't know, a song, and you can ask them how this song makes you feel, and what do you think the person who wrote this song was trying to share, or how is he feeling. That way you can explore senses. They're like kind of playing, or you can make them dance, and you can talk about how different ways of expression there are. So I think it's also mostly depending on the crazy ideas that you as a teacher have, because you have to be very creative at all ages, but especially when they're younger. I remember that before we started with the IB program, we got a really interesting workshop that it was about embodied learning. And it was like using your bodies, the kids' body, to learn. I mean, I remember that I was supposed to teach them the vowels, and it was very difficult for them that they see them on the board, and I was like, trace the letter A and stuff like that. So when we got that workshop, I remember that I got the idea, okay, I'm gonna take them outside on the soccer field, and we play on creating the letters with our own bodies. So we lay on the floor, we were creating the letter A, I took pictures, and they had so much fun. And then when we came back to the classroom and we were trying to work on the vowels, and they learned it so fast because they learn it to play. So it's just you have to be, like I said, very creative. I wish there was like I remember asking like, where is a place where I can see everything, like the ideas that I can have with kids and stuff like that. And there is, because we have the community where we can share and all, but it's mostly the relationship that you have with your students, the necessities that you see in your classroom, and your creativity as a teacher. So you have to come up with super crazy ideas that you feel that they're not maybe making sense, or kids are just like listening to you, but at the end you see them learning and it's amazing. Okay, moving on. Inquiry in online learning.
I think when you move ahead in the presentation, this question will be answered. So you can carry on.
Okay. Okay, can you pass to the second one, please? To the next one, please, sorry. This quote, I thought I wanted to include it because I thought it was amazing. Play gives children a chance to practice what they're learning. And it's so true, like I was saying. And it's also for a lot of people, not just children. I mean, as for example, for me, I love reading. I like to do a lot of inquires myself. But as you practice something, as you work on something, it's the better way to learn. So imagine for them at that young age. So I thought I love this. It was very, that's why I included it. And next one, please. Okay, what are the ways to promote curiosity in an early years classroom? Like I was telling you guys, the best way you can do is to supply the ingredients for an amazing cake. I don't know how to put it in a different way. For example, in these tables, as you can see, it's very obvious what they are going to do, right? You put the circles, you put an example, you put the materials that they're going to use. So they're going to figure it out by themselves what they have to do. When they start seeing all these things that you previously set up in your classroom, they are going to wonder and they're going to know what is going to be that day for them in class. So if you're going to talk like you said about the senses, you can set up a table where they can have different materials, they can taste, they can smell, and then you go from there. When they're that young, you can use just materials from outside, like rocks. You can paint rocks from different colors. Like I said, you can ask, if you have the opportunity to request materials from home, recycle materials, you can also. There's so many things that you can do. And it's your guys' classroom, but you as a teacher need to get it ready for them before they arrive. And then by that, you guide the provocation for what you're aiming, and in a way that they can play with it. So that's the more that I think that example tells you better than I'm rambling here. And next one, please.
Imelda, I hope you got your answer that how to promote inquiry. So this is the first step that Paulina just shared, that how to promote curiosity through loose play and a lot of sensory material. And that can be done using, the home learning as well. As she said, that you can collaborate with the parents so that they can make this these material available. They can set up a similar corner and we can go ahead with the inquiry in the earliest classroom. So we are moving ahead now.
Okay. What knowledge, skills, and disposition do young learners need to engage in inquiry learning? I think that the profile the Ivy has, it doesn't just apply to like in elementary. It can also apply on the early stages, because those are skills that is going to help them a lot through the process of inquiring. Of course, for them, for example, to develop the skill of research will be a little bit different as could be in the elementary kids. But as you guide them through the process, they can start like taking baby steps and they will go from there. And there's a lot of examples that we can use. For example, I put a story that I found a couple of years ago about how to explain the attributes to younger kids. Even I think I told you on our first session that I got with you guys. Thank you again so much for making it part of this amazing process. There is a story that is about a dog, a chicken that wanted to learn how to swim. And if you go to the next, I think it's in the next on the next, yes, in this one. I will go to your question in a second. This story, it's about a chicken that wanted to learn how to swim, and he could see the dogs, but he was afraid because he wasn't able. So through this story, it's explaining how is he using the attributes to learn how to swim. And it's really cool for the kids because it's so the pictures, the colors, it's so well explained, and it's been working wonders for the kids. I use it a lot. For example, my kids in fourth grade love this story, and they said it's so easy. And I also use a lot of them. I could now play a video, just like a random one that I found online, and I can ask them what attribute you think they're using or what skill, and that helps you too as a teacher to see if they're working them. And they actually took this story and they read the story to younger kids. So it was very cool to see them experience like that. And you can go to the next one. I think the next one are the same of the story. Yeah, well balanced. Okay, and next one, please. Okay, the role of a teacher in an early years inquiry base. I saw this graph. I think it's from Trevor Mackenzie, which is amazing. He has a lot of books, and his theories and everything. He's amazing. You should check him out. And as you can see here, we have structure inquire, control inquire, guided inquiry, and free inquiry. I think as a teacher, when at least for me, when I started, I was, how am I going to give the kids, like, let them free loose and do their inquiries? They're going to go in another direction. It's going to be really difficult. How am I going to make it work? As you acquire a little bit of experience through the process of working, you're learning with them at the same time. At least it was like that for me. And I was like, how am I going to let them by themselves? They're not going to work. They're not going to able to do that. But it's not like you leave them in the first unit of inquiry. No, it's like a process. And like you kind of work with them since they're young. So the inquiries that you do with them are very structured, but that doesn't mean that they're learning or that you're giving them the voice, the responsibility to own their own learning. It's just like I said, baby steps. And I think it's like I don't have any kids, but I feel it's like when you have a kid and you don't want that kid to make mistakes, you want them to like be really successful. And for example, if you see them doing something that you know it's not going to be maybe very good for them, but you know you have to let them go through that journey. I feel it's the same with your students. You have to trust them. You have to have faith in them, in that they're going to be able to do what you want them to do. I don't know if I'm explaining myself through this, but yeah, the role as a teacher in early years is to guide them and not only in your units of inquiry, in the whole world of the concepts, the profile. Why is it so important to make this switch? Because I remember when I was younger, I've always been very social, and for me, talking to a lot of people was always something that I loved to do. And when I was younger, we didn't have that much at school. It was only like, okay, this is the topic that we were talking about. You're gonna make a questionnaire about this and the quiz, and everyone recite the same, and all the answers have to be the same. So it was very like only on one line. But our students are not like robots, are not the same. They have different perspectives, personalities. Maybe there's going to be a student that is not going to be able to be very like outspoken to explain their perspective, but he can make an amazing picture showing you what he learned. And maybe there could be another one that can play a song explaining you, and there's so many ways they can use, and they're all good because they're sharing what they learned. So I think that at least for me, if I were able to have this when I was younger, it at my school would have been amazing. Because now that we are a certified school and we work in with the IB, I feel so, I love it. I enjoy it so much. Like I said, it was very difficult at first, but now it's amazing to see them develop everything and learning about themselves also. Because there were times that they were like, okay, Miss Paulina, but what's the correct answer? And I always tell them there's not wrong answers. As long as it's your opinion, your perspective, all the answers are correct. And also, I mean, it's been really helpful for them at school, but also with the interactions of their families. And it's going to help them a lot. So we're creating a really, it's amazing, guys. It's you. I don't know how else to put it, but yet it's amazing to be part of them and to have the opportunity to see them grow through this amazing program. So it's really.
Paulina, I would like to take a pause and I would like to ask the same questions to all the wonderful educators, those who are here with us, that what is the role of teacher in an early years inquiry-based classroom? What we should be doing? If you can answer this question, we would love to hear, great insights from you all. Paulina has shared her journey, her experiences, but yes, we would love to hear more. So what is the role of teacher in an inquiry-based classroom? What we should be doing? Feel free to write. There is nothing wrong, nothing right. As Paulina said, these are just perspectives. So feel free to write. What do you think that we should be doing in an inquiry-based classroom? What is our role? So, yes, we can. Sun who give light. Wonderful. Superb. Yes. Facilitate learning. Wonderful. I see myself as a guide. Yes. Amazing. So we can see simply that as in all traditional classroom, the teachers are, the sage on the stage, the only, distributor of knowledge. They consider themselves, okay, they are the one who have all here, and the other party, the students which are sitting in front of them, are just passive receiver. But we as IB educator, we believe that we are facilitators, we are guide, and as Atif Alavi, I don't know, I'm pronouncing it right, Umema Atif Alavi said, it's sun who give light. Amazing. Provoke students to ask questions. Very well said, Imelda. Our role is to allow learners to take on ownership. Beautiful. Keep it going. Yes, we can move on to the next slide. Shall I change the slide, Paulina?
Okay. Preparing the environment, which is the third factor exactly. Okay. Our role is to allow learners to take on ownership. Yes, absolutely, and to be just a facilitator. That's it. What are the obstacles, challenge which hinder inquiry in an early years classroom? As a window. Oh my God, I love that. I see myself as a window which is always open. Love that. Oh my God. The obstacles that I got when I was a facilitator in Kinder 1 were that they didn't talk a lot. They were learning because they were 3 years old. Some of them were still with diapers. So it was really difficult because I had to do it all the time in English and they were just learning how to talk. So I think that pretty much was it. That it was mostly a challenge, not an obstacle, because like I said, you learn how they learn, if that makes sense. You need to inquire in their minds, in the way that they interact, the way they learn. And I think the challenge is that you have to be super creative. You have to be very patient. You have to believe in yourself as well as a teacher. Because I remember thinking they are not learning. What am I going to do? How can I make them reflect if they don't talk? And I was expecting for them to share a lot of things with their voice, but they share so many stuff with their actions. Like I said, like maybe if they were eating, they were more organized on the way that they were cleaning, or they were sharing with other students, or maybe at the beginning they were not cleaning a lot the classroom or following the rules, but then later I saw them changing a little bit in that department. So to be the challenges are, like I said, that you need to be very patient, that you need to create a lot of amazing sets of playing. And the challenge is also that there's not, well, maybe I haven't encountered that much material as I would want to, because when you search for examples online, pretty much all of those examples are mostly for like in elementary. But I put a lot of pictures here. If you go to the next slide, I think I put a couple of examples on how can you maybe take them to reflect. I think this could also be for maybe Kinder 3, and sorting out maybe in one part what is magic and in the other part what's nature. And you can, like, for example, the word magic, you could put a little draw next to it where they can identify that that's where the magic objects go. And in the other one, if you put, for example, nature, you could put a flower next to it, and it can help them to identify which goes in which place. Can you go to the next one, please? For example, this thinking routine, it's called Step Inside. Hear, think, feel, see. This, as you can see, it's about the senses. And it's about a story that it's called The Rainbow Fish. I think we all know about that story. I really love it. And I love using it a lot. And you can just simply ask them, what did you hear about the story? What did you notice? What did you saw? How do you think they were feeling? What do you think they were thinking in that story, that how the fish felt at first, and then when he shared the skills? So you cannot catch what they gave you, like I said, super fast. One of the advices that I can give you is to have a lot of post-its next to you and have a wall that is like your own post-it wall, to catch all of the ideas that they will give you through the process. And not only the ideas or the reflections that they gave you talking to you, because there's going to be kids, they're not going to talk at all, but you can see in their actions and their interactions with you the reflections that they have in. So, can you go to the next one, please? This is another one on the transportation medium, for example, things that makes us go. And you can, like I said, you can put the example on the board. They don't know how to read at that age, so you can tell them, okay, in this circle we're going to write the things that making, or they can help us move from one place to the other. And they're going to be just simply drawing, but at the same time they're going to be learning. You can create like two setup of tables. In this table you're going to draw things they can help you move, and in this table you're going to draw the places that you go to help, or for example, if they draw an ambulance, in here where you use the ambulance, stuff like that. And it's, for example, as at school, the kids are coming back half and half, like half, I have half of the class at home and the other half through the computer. So it's different on the way they used to do it at school. We're all together, but you can find ways to do it. So this is just one example. Can you go to the next one, please? I'm starting to ramble, so I'm sorry. Oh, this one, I thought this was amazing. It's like comparison, like timeline, if you want to say it, and they call it tug of war. And it says, whose story do you believe? And for example, they told them the story about the three little pigs, and they were sharing their perspective about the story. I mean, the side of the three little pigs and the side of the big bad wolf. So with this, for example, I remember the other, I think it was last week that I was with my fourth grade class, and we were talking. I don't remember exactly what was the topic, but it was something kind of intense. And I asked them, well, I want you to share now your perspective about how this affect us. And then one of my students said, is it only have to be positive effects? And I said, well, as long as we are respectful on what we share, they can also be negative effects too, because there's both way always. And I think it's good that they kind of share that too, that they're not afraid. I mean, there's a lot of bad things around us too, and it's not that you want to put them out there, but it's good they know, because that can create the balance that they also need. So they have to see both sides to be able to share their like their opinion. So, and I thought this was very cool because, I mean, it's for younger kids and they can really understand this type of stories, and you can present this thinking routine for them. I mean, of course, you're going to have to write what they said, and they can even explain it through drawing. So there's a lot of ideas come to my mind right now that as a teacher, you will create your own thinking routines, because you will do it accordingly on the necessities of the group that you have in that moment. So can you go to the next one? I think I'm not really sure if there's more. Okay. What my action looked like in the early years. Like I said, I just saw this online and I thought it could be it could be maybe in our benefit. The actions. Can you share a few examples of actions that can be taken by? Okay, like I said, an action. At least for me, when I started, I was like, oh my god, what type of actions could I see? I want them to try to change the world and to save animals and to the environment and stuff. And I was very passionate about that. And I went, and when I started to go through the process of working with them in the inquires and in the central ideas and in everything, I learned that the actions are the daily basis lives. I mean, they can take actions in, for example, being more caring with others, being more respectful, to, like I said, turn off the lights maybe, or maybe to take a risk and trying to go to other classes to teach them how to work on the IB profile. For example, for me, when they asked me to go online, because it was during the pandemic, they asked me to go to other classes to read them the story about the profile. For me, that was a huge action they took, because they want to share what they know or what they learn with others, and that's those actions. And for early years, like I said, for example, when I was in first grade, the actions they took, they were shared by parents. Parents were sending me messages like, oh my god, now he wants to recycle at home, or now I've noticed that he's more obedient with us, or when he goes to the supermarket, he's always trying to help someone, or he's asking about how this meal was prepared, stuff like that. Those are the actions that they can show you. And I hope that can be a good answer for your question, Miss Kira. So like I said, I'm just sharing my small ideas.
I hope Paulina answered your question well, and it was well said, Paulina. Yes, we need not to, cross borders or do big actions. It all starts within. So, we call it me, my community, and my country. So they move step by step, one step at a time. So those tiny action counts, because those tiny actions are the big actions for them. And as Paulina said, that usually those actions are informed by parents. So whenever you are doing a unit in which you think is, there are actions which are bound to happen, have a discussion with your parents, probably with the newsletter or the unit letter. Ask them what are they observing. Are they observing any changes in their behavior or in their knowledge, right? So parents are the one who are going to inform you, because usually kids, they go back home and they do what they should be doing in the classroom. So at times we are unable to observe them, and especially when you call a visitor, yes, something great happening in the classroom, that time they just stays mom. So yeah, so watch time is different for these kids, their early year, and those actions are very authentic, very very authentic. I remember an earlier kid learning about pollution, and he saw someone smoking on the street, and he was very daring. He went straight away to that person and he told him that it's not a good thing, we can't do that. So they don't think twice before taking action. So it's amazing, very well said, Paulina. Thank you so much for sharing great insights. If you have some insights to share, dear audience, feel free to share that what might action look like for the early years? Feel free to share if you have some good example. We would love to hear that. Superb, Hira. We are happy that we could answer the question. Thank you, Paulina. We can go ahead, and in the meanwhile, teachers, you can, educators, you can please share what all you think are the great ideas for taking action. Paulina, we can go ahead. I'm changing the slide.
Okay. Okay. The next one, I think I'm done. Oh, there you go. Well, I don't know if I will able to answer your questions, but I'm more than happy to do it. From my perspective, I wrote my email and the page of the work that of the school that I work, and I did this because I want my school to be more risk takers, because I want us to have more collaboration with students from all over the world. And it's sort of a challenge because of the time difference that we have. But I think we can make it work. For example, for me today, I'm so sorry because we have a 30 minutes gap and I don't know what, Jesus Christ. But yeah, like I said, I think that at least for us, we need to start taking the risk and do more collaborations with other. And it will help the kids so much, because to take them out of their comfort zone, they grow so much that they want to take more steps like that. So it's really cool. And in the next slide, I just did like a small invitation if they want to join. I think a lot of you guys already are. We have a very amazing virtual community with teachers from all over the world in WhatsApp. We change ideas. I'm really grateful for that community because I've learned so much. And it got me to this amazing friend, Miss A, which I adore. And so I'm really grateful. And I'm really grateful for all of you too. So if any of you would like to join, this is my email. Just email me and I will gladly send you the links to join. And I think that's it for me today. Oh.
Well, we have something for you, Paulina. This is from all of us to you for all the great insights, wonderful, personal stories. And again, I will say that no presentation works well without a personal touch. We, as IB educators, always love to hear experiences at what different colleagues are doing in different settings. And it's not a surprise that we all are, working in similar ways because we share a common mission of IB, and I could see so many similarities. I could make connections, and there were people who were seeking, answers for their queries, and this is all what is it meant for. So, and you did again a fabulous job. I'm really grateful to you. And don't say sorry. I could understand. There's a huge time difference. But yes, your enthusiasm was amazing, and as last time you rocked the show. And same goes to the audience. I was loving the comments, and whenever we asked, you were quite prompt to reply. So thank you so much, wonderful audience. Next session most probably will also be based on early years. We will be looking into play in early years. Either Miss Paulina or someone else, any wonderful educator like you can join me. If you would like to join any such session as a presenter, do let us know, because we are here as a community of collaborators, and we feel free to share your knowledge, your understanding. The more we share, the more we grow. This is what I believe. So, and we all should believe in, our power of sharing. So sharing makes you more wonderful. So feel free to touch base with me. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I also have a WhatsApp group, and I also have a community that is Teachers Tribe International Community, where people from around the globe are there. And you can touch base with Paulina as well. I work collaboratively with Paulina, so Paulina can touch base with me and we can come back and share, right? So in the next session, we would be looking into uh, play, most probably play, and great insights from all of you. I would be sharing a link in the chat box right away. If we have Mr. Shams, can you please share the feedback link if you're there with us? If not, I would be sharing it. So that is an exit ticket. You just need to write your understanding of today's session, and we would love to honor you with a certificate. There's a link in the chat box. Just see if it's coming. No, not yet. All right. Just check on it again. So it's a Google form, a simple form of 2 questions. It just asks about your understanding, where are you joining us from, your name, and just ensure that you're writing the correct name, because certificates, yes, it is in. I hope you can see the certificate which I have just shared. Have you shared it, Mr. Shams? Yes. So this is the link of the certificate. Dear educators, please fill it and fill your right name, the name which you want on the certificate. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, Paulina. I would love to hear back from you. So just end it the way you started it.
Well, thank you so much for making me part of this amazing project that you guys have. And it's an honor for me that you consider me to be part of this. So I really appreciate it. And I will be as many times as you want me here, just sharing the small thing I know, that the things that I've learned, from my perspective, from my craziness. And I'm more than gladly to help if I can. So count me in.
We would love to have you again and again, and it's amazing to have a friend like you in the other side of the world. And yeah, we would love to collaborate again, and we would ensure that there is no half an hour gap from now on. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day ahead. And if you have any issues with the exit ticket, you can touch base with me, Paulina, Mr. Shams, anyone. We would love to give you the certificate. It's just a token of love and appreciation from our end. Thank you so much, Paulina. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.